The Eminence in Shadow Season 2 in a nutshell. If you guys want a video to Season 1, comment down below. The reason I did not start with Season 1 was well because I just felt like starting off with Season 2. I probably should have done Season 1, a smart idea to do, but I felt like doing Season 2, so here we are. We're going to start off with Season 2. If you want a video to Season 1, comment down below and I'll make it, hopefully. But let's get straight into the video. What the fuck? Alrighty, so the season starts off with Delta running up the mountain half naked and the rest of the girls basically riding Shadow's like for real. The way these girls act around him, they make him seem like he's a god or something. Like he's powerful and all, but he's not a god. Like he gets soloed by Goku. Oh my god! Not trying to be one of those Goku solos everybody thinks, but like not even Goku really. Like he gets soloed by maybe even Gojo. Gojo's not necessarily weak and all, but like in the grand scheme of the anime, he's not necessarily the strongest. Anyway, the girls are riding Shadow's tip. I don't see a sign of Rose anywhere. For those of you that don't know who Rose is, this is Rose. But Sid's older sister, Claire, wins the tournament of the last season. I forgot what it was called, but she wins the tournament and then she goes to this place called the Lawless City. Sid goes along with her. Really, he was dragged there. And then they pass some human slaves. This guy tries to sell them off to her. These two were beaten up by this vampire, trying to find some lady and trying to kill her. And they failed pretty hard, clearly, because now they're being sold off as slaves. Probably should have listened to the vampire's advice, but hey.
You pathetic vermin aren't worthy to pass through this gate. The only ones authorized are servants or guests of the Blood Queen and powerful warriors. You two are neither of those things.
Later on throughout the day, Sid meets these ghouls, and one of them was like super close to biting him. And if they bit him, he would have turned to another ghoul, which is like a, I guess, vampire minion. But then this red-haired girl that looks so much like the queen, or is it princess? She looks like the red-haired girl from last year. I really thought that was her at first, but she saves him and then tells him to run, and then Sid starts smiling because, you know, Sid is a little bit of a psychopath. We've had our fair share of psychopaths in anime. Sid might have to be one of my top 5 favorites. And this girl right here, you know, Gasai has to be my #1 favorite. If you have not watched it, I would kind of recommend watching the Future Diary. I may make a video on that. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it, but this red-haired girl named Mary meets up with Claire because Claire is looking for Sid because Sid got lost, even though he thought he wouldn't get lost, but Claire told him he was going to get lost. You might have to repeat that a few times over to fully understand it. But they start going towards the tower because that's where they think Sid is, even though Sid is now being Shadow and going around town trying to be cool, saying this one line.
Shadow, run if you value your life, because the frenzy has begun.
And saving naked women from their rooms who just got done assisting an old man with his pleasure. This show gets very, very weird very fast at times, I'm not gonna lie. But Shadow realizes he's broke and needs some money, so then he finds these henchmen, yada yada yada, plot plot plot. I personally don't remember exactly what happened, but he finds out there's money at the tower, so he goes to the tower, or tries to get some money because he knows there's a lot of gold there. So he goes looking for the gold, and while he does that, Claire and Mary get their whooped by this big gorilla man who, he reminds me of that one Naruto character, the one that cannot control himself. He reminds me of him, but more beastly. Once Shadow is done getting all the gold he wants, he goes, plays that little brother role, saves Claire from almost getting killed, saves Claire from almost getting beheaded by the beast.
The beast is here!
Says his now favorite line.
Run if you value your life, because the frenzy has begun.
And goes off to try and fight the final boss. He goes up to the top of the tower, fights the final boss, what he thinks is the final boss, but it's not really the final boss. And the moment he leaves, the true final boss comes, and that's when Claire and Mary show up. At this point, Claire completely forgets that she's even looking for Sid because she now figures out that Mary is a vampire, Mary's looking for her queen, Mary's trying to stop her queen from being resurrected because she cannot control her bloodlust for humans. Mary wants to try and honor her queen's wishes by keeping her dead. So they go up there, they fail to stop her from being resurrected. She died because she could not control her bloodlust. And then Shadow Guardian comes, tries to act cool, but because, you know, Alpha is the strongest and Alpha is not there, they get their whooped. Like, it's not even really a fair fight at this point. Like, they get their butts handed to them. Literally, they get like 1v5 and Claire almost dies. Shadow Garden does everything they can to try and protect Claire, but she almost dies. And then Andrea, you know, the demon from last season. I'll put her picture of her here. I forgot her name. She possesses Claire. Oh, actually, let me back up. Claire had signs of possession and was going to turn into some big blop thing, but then the demon, still cannot remember her name, comes into her mind, I guess, and like possesses her and saves her from turning into a big thing of glop. Although the demon is now weakened because she's not in her original body, she's in Claire's body, which is still kind of strong, but not as strong as her original self. So she goes 1v1 versus the Blood Queen, which I believe her name was Elizabeth, and then Shadow, you know, he has to do the thing that all main characters do, come in at like the last second to save the day. He goes in, tries to be cool, tries to defeat the final boss, and as everybody's getting attacked, I love this scene too. I love this. This is my favorite part. Beta basically praises him for trying to save Shadow Garden, his sister. Wait, Shadow Garden and his sister. But really, Shadow is not protecting a single one of them. Shadow was protecting his coins the entire time. At least that's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but in this scene, it looked like he was trying to protect his gold coins, not Shadow Garden. I mean, maybe he was trying to protect them too, but he was definitely more focused on the coins than Shadow Garden and his sister. So then Shadow fights Elizabeth. I think Elizabeth not really likes Shadow, but finds interest in Shadow, you know. Finds him doing his thing. Shadow risen up all the women in Shadow Garden and the series. You know, Shadow showing more Riz than Rizzolanti Deku. Anyway, Shadow does his thing. Shadow, I guess, makes Elizabeth like her. I don't like him. I don't know. They were fighting in the air. It looked like some love was going on in the air. Some Kaguya love is war thing. They fight. Shadow obviously wins because he's Shadow. He's in an isekai. So, you know, the main character quite literally can't lose in an isekai unless you're in Jobless Reincarnation or any isekai where you're not overpowered. Fight ends. Claire, something happens to her right arm, I believe. Maybe it's her left. I can't remember. Future me will deal with that. She tries to be a big sister. Shadow, in my mind, I'm thinking he doesn't even really care because he could probably fix the situation really if he wanted to. But now this makes me ponder. I think that's the word. Now this makes me wonder, will Claire ever join Shadow Garden? I am an anime only watcher. I made a video about that here. You can go ahead and click it if you want. Do not spoil this for me. Do not spoil this. Please, I beg of you. If you're a manga reader, you've already read all the manga for the Eminence and Shadow. That's great for you. Do not spoil it for me. Go somewhere else. I don't want to know if Claire actually does join Shadow Garden or not. Please do not spoil it for me. But Claire right arm is something. She's got new powers. I think she'll join Shadow Garden. And then we get home, back to wherever the heck they're from. And at this point, they're just like half the episode is just them talking about money and Sid rambling on about how a dollar bill is worth less than a coin, although it has more value in society. I personally didn't understand it, so I'm not going to go too much over it. But he's basically trying to ruin Shadow Gardens. I don't remember the specific girl that like made this brand. I think it's like Maribu. He's trying to destroy that so he can grow it again, so he can make money, so he can be rich. Or no, he's trying to destroy it so he can rebuild it. I think to destroy it again so he can rebuild it. I didn't understand this episode at all. I won't lie to you all. I did not understand it. I just got done watching it and I don't understand it at all. But basically he works with this girl from the Lawless City. I completely forgot to mention her and I don't even know her name. And why is it that every girl in this anime, whenever they look to Shadow, or even Sid too, they take whatever he says and turn it to some elaborate scheme that they think he made, when in reality he didn't think of any of that. Literally, they will come up with the most random elaborate scheme and I can see it in Sid's eye. I can see it in his eye. They're like, what the what are you talking about? How did you get from what I said to that? But he just goes along with it to try and act cool and try to make it look like he's super smart. But all these girls in this anime are completely dumb. I'm sorry, they're all idiots. They're dumb. They will believe anything that he says. They will somehow turn it into some nonsense. They will just turn into some nonsense that makes sense but was not even close to what he was truly thinking. It doesn't make sense at all to me. But basically, he wants to try and destroy their empire. Maribu, some clothing brand. He wants to destroy it so he could build it again, so he could make the money off of it and change it, I think, something like that. And then Delta kills her own brother. I didn't even know she had a brother till the end of it. She kills her own brother, so now Marububu and some other company are about to go at war, and the person that's the head of that other company, I believe, is Delta's father. And at the very end of the scene, she makes the proposals for Sid to be the head of her clan so that he can have 100 children. And this scene was too funny for me. I'm gonna play it right here.
I just had a great idea! You can be our chief, boss!
What?
If you beat my dad, you'll be the chief! Then you can have lots of babies and we'll be the strongest clan ever!
That's not happening.
Yes, it is! I'll get 100 women for you, and Delta will have 100 babies!
No way, not a chance.
She's gonna get 100 women for him, and apparently Delta will have 100 babies?
Damn!
He's one lucky man. Sid is truly one lucky man. I wish I had a life like him, other than the whole dying and, you know, being in the isekai part. But other than that, Sid has a very amazing life. He needs to be very grateful for it. I wish I had his harem and his powers. I wish I had all of it. Still Goku solos. But
No! God, please, no! No!
that is it for Eminence in Shadow in a nutshell. Oh man, I almost forgot the freaking name of the series. I tried to sum it up the best I could. I'm sorry if I missed some big, huge plot points. I did this as soon as I got done watching episode 4 because I want to do this as fast as I could. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below if you like the Eminence in Shadow. Comment down below if you want me to do a season 1 nutshell for it. And comment down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, thank you. Thank you for watching to this point. Like if you did, comment it, all the stuff I said before, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.